All right, folks, I'm going to show you how to do two things here. The first of which is how to add the test to your e-learning page, how to add one of the final exams that's been shared to your e-learning page. The other is to set up the BioSig so that you can add that to your exam. So the first thing you need to do is go to your e-learning course. It doesn't really matter what e-learning course you go to. I'll go to my senior seminar here. All right, so actually I already have the exam added to this one, so let me go to a different course. I'll go to this one here, which I don't think has the exam added already. So all you need to do to add an exam is go to add an assignment. And then when this screen pops up, instead of choosing one of these options, you go to import an existing assignment. This should take you to your file cabinet. And in your file cabinet here, you should see that the exams labeled such have been shared. Please use the most recent version of the exam. I was playing around with this and I don't know how to unshare things yet. But so try and use, oh, don't try and use the most recent version of the exam where the created date is over here. So in this case, that would be, let's say the English 102, 422, that would be that one. So I click on that, I import selected, I import, I say okay that my assignments have been imported. And then you can go to the test builder. Well, let me show you what that looks like. After the assignment's been imported, it will appear over here. It's not visible when you import it. So if you have to go into the edit settings. But before you make it visible, I'm going to show you how to set up the BioSig. So for the BioSig, let's see when this final exam is set for. Wednesday, 5/6 at noon. So I need to set up a separate assignment for this BioSig thing. So you click on add an assignment. In this case, you need to choose the basic format. Give your assignment a title, you know, BioSig final exam. Assignments and type don't really matter so much. You do need to select a due date, so you would want to make that whenever your exam is prior to the exam. So if you have an exam at 10 o'clock on that day, then you would set the due date for this to be done by 10 a.m. You want to open it immediately now. You want to make this a non-graded assignment because all students need to do is complete it. Now here's how you set up the BioSig. You go to step 2 and you have to go to this drop-down menu, which is the Learning Tool Import option. So you go to BioSig ID, which will be probably the third option on your menu down here. Click on BioSig ID and you've done everything that you need to do, at least to get the BioSig added to your course. So this is what it's going to look like. Here's your BioSig. Students can start by, you know, they have to choose what device they're using, and then they just follow the instructions, next, next, next. It takes a couple minutes for them to complete the process, so do make sure that you emphasize that they should be doing it before the deadline for taking the final exam, so they're not struggling to get that. You know, have them do it as soon as possible. All right, so you've created the BioSig assignment. Now you need to connect it to your final exam to make sure that students have to complete that BioSig assignment before they have access to the exam. So here's how that works. You go to the edit button over here. And you wait. And wait. Ah, here we are. Okay, so here's my final exam. You can change whatever dates. You know, this is the final exam we just imported, so change whatever you need to up here. Now, yeah, here's the section. Like usually in the default, you have when to open it is unspecified later. So that's what it looks like for the default. So if you look at that screen, you need to go to where it says open and then choose based on rules I define. So you want to add at least one rule and probably two if you're planning on giving your exam at a certain time. The first rule is this one here. So you add the rule when an assignment is complete. So your options are when a date happens or when an assignment is complete. So you choose the assignment option. You can select the assignment that I just created. So now when an assignment BioSig final is complete, and then when a date, and here's the opening date for my course has passed. If you're having students take it at a later date or an earlier date, if you're giving them that option, then all you would have to do is remove that. If you accidentally remove it, then just add a rule back, and then you can put the date back in. So that's how that function works. And so once you get that set up, let's see, I have display to students before it's open based on rules I define. Then you go and save your assignment. And so here is the English 102 final exam. It's not open, but it's visible. You can see how that's marked. So we can actually see what it's going to look like for the students. So we'll view as students. I'll change my view here. So if I'm a student and I'm coming to the page, I will see this BioSig final exam thing. I will click on that. Students will have to click on this button that says launch the tool. So you can include in the assignment instructions, you know, click on the button below. So go to the assignment instructions and add that. And then, you know, that might help save you from fielding some emails. Maybe not. But launch the tool, and then you see this thing immediately pops up down here, and they can go through the instructions. If they've already signed up once, all that it will ask them to do is to sign in and complete their BioSig ID. So once that assignment is complete, then what they see down here is their final exam, which has that stop button on it. That will disappear, and it will be an open assignment that will appear like one of these. So that should pretty much cover how to set up your BioSig and your final exam. In order to review the final exam prior to giving it to the students, you can click on that final exam link there, click on the title where it is. You can go to the test builder. And then this has all your questions here. There are 25 multiple choice questions for the English 102 exam and an essay. You can preview the test by clicking on this icon. And then you should have access to this exam, and this is what it's going to look like for the students. So it's got everything you need here. Please make sure you look through it. I did send out a study guide for this particular exam that covers the concepts that they're being asked about. So like the first thing on the study guide is thesis. You can see that they're asking a question about thesis here. Definition of rhetoric, that was the second thing on the study guide. MLA citation format is the third thing on there, and there are a couple of questions on that, so on and so forth down the study guide. So I have organized that in the order that it actually appears on the test. And that should about cover it. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email and I will help to address them.